Welcome to the channel. This is Holden from Classroom Camp, and today we're going to be talking about the 10 Commandments in classrooms. This is an interesting subject that first was on my radar when I was living back in Louisiana, and there was a bill that was passed that was supposed to require teachers to have the 10 Commandments hung on their wall. Well, I never saw that happen, but I'm in Texas now, and it is a big deal. So we're going to be taking a look at an article that is from NBC News, and the headline says, "How Some Texas Teachers Are Fighting the 10 Commandments Law in Classrooms." As public schools begin hanging posters of the religious doctrine in classrooms, some teachers are finding creative alternatives to sidestep or dodge the legislation. And this was published on September 14th, 2025. So let me tell you my story related to the 10 Commandments. Several weeks ago, I walked into my classroom one morning and noticed a large poster on my desk. And I said, well, what is this mysterious poster? Well, when I walked up, upon further inspection, I saw that it was actually the 10 Commandments. And I was flabbergasted, surprised, because I did not think that this would actually come to fruition. But it did, and there was a note attached to it that said that the poster needed to be hung in a quote-unquote conspicuous location in the classroom, meaning that it needed to be hung up somewhere that it was clearly visible, not hiding behind and pushed back into a back corner where nobody can see it. It had to be somewhere that everybody could see it. And so, well, as a Christian, I did my duty and I hung it up right there next to the American flag. I'm not trying to get into any trouble or anything. And, I don't think that there's anything wrong with the 10 Commandments. Now, some of you may disagree with me, and that's totally fine. But, we're going to take a look at this article because a lot of teachers are pushing back on this as these posters are rolling in. So let's see what it says. A 10 Commandments poster that hangs in one suburban Dallas teacher's classroom is surrounded by hot pink placards featuring tenets from Buddhism, Hinduism, and Islam. A substitute teacher north of Houston is sending her twin daughters to school wearing First Amendment buttons and offering the same pins to other children in their neighborhood. Meanwhile, a teacher in Southeast Texas said she's playing a risky game after deciding she won't display the 10 Commandments in her classroom at all, but if she must, she said she will hang it upside down. Wow. These quiet acts of defiance are unfolding as a new Republican-crafted state law known as Senate Bill 10 takes effect this month, requiring Texas public elementary and secondary schools to hang the 10 Commandments in every classroom. A school district must accept any offer of a privately donated poster. Otherwise, it may, but is not required to, purchase posters using district funds, the law states. It is unclear how many districts have complied with the law since the start of the school year. In addition, a handful of school districts where parents and faith leaders have filed legal challenges remain exempt from the mandate as federal litigation plays out. The plaintiffs contend that forcing the 10 Commandments into public schools is an unconstitutional violation of the separation of church and state. All right. So, as you saw there, if the posters are donated to a school or school district, or if the district opts to purchase the posters with any funds they have lying around, then teachers are supposed to, by policy, hang them up. I don't know what happened in my case. All I know is that I got the poster and there were no questions asked. I don't know, some of the teachers near me, they were all on board with it as well. They said, we used to have the 10 Commandments hung up in our classrooms, but, we had to take them down, and now we're going back to that. So this is actually nothing new. This is something that, has taken place before. It's taken place again. So it is what it is. And, I have studied one of the things that the topics that I was considering for my dissertation or capstone was culturally responsive teaching. And I am kind of on the side that, you need to be responsive to the different cultures within the classroom. not everybody is a Christian. There are other religions and things of that nature, but at the same time, I am a Christian, and my stance is that, well, I'm given this; it is mandated, so I'm going to put it on the wall, and I'm not going to have any problem with it. Now, if this was not mandated, would I hang it on the wall? No, I wouldn't, because I don't, I want to welcome all students. I don't want to indoctrinate anyone or anything like that, just going rogue, so to speak, in the schools. But if it is mandated and it's policy, then yes, I'm going to follow that policy and it aligns with my personal views, and I don't have a problem with it. I do like culturally responsive teaching. Do I have a Bible in my classroom? No, but that's a whole other thing that we could get into. But so yeah, we got the poster somehow, and we a lot of people have been hanging them up. Now, some teachers are not happy about this, obviously, and so they are being a bit resistant. And here you can see in the article this image here where there's a makeshift Hinduism poster, and then there's the 5 pillars of Islam and the 4 noble truths of Buddhism. This is kind of a culturally responsive task here, or response, but it looks strange, like having it like this, where you just wrote it on a poster board, and you've got it next to the 10 Commandments. I mean, it clearly looks like an act of defiance, because I think that if it looks a little unnatural. It's like, oh, well, I got to hang the 10 Commandments up. So, well, now I'm going to put these posters up, and I'm going to show you, at least print them off, if you're really going to do this, like, make a statement, like print them off on some nice paper and put them up there like that, because it just looks like you're trying to make a statement, putting it on hot pink, paper and throwing it up there like that. And maybe you are trying to make a statement. You do you, I guess. It says here that regardless of how individual school districts enforce the law, teachers who spoke with NBC News said they are being placed in an awkward position in order to comply and feel conflicted with their own beliefs. Some also worry the posters appear to favor one religion over others and may spur uncomfortable conversations about Christianity that they don't want to have in a public school setting. It says, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. First of all, that means 0 to my students," said an elementary school art teacher in suburban Dallas who asked not to be named for fear of job reprisal. If it was in wording like, be kind to one another, don't steal, don't lie, or be a good person, because as an elementary school teacher, I teach those things all the time. Like in the first week of school, I have this whole presentation I do, and apart from this, please don't steal our art supplies. Okay. The teacher said her district is diverse, and because her school includes students of different religions, she decided to hang posters of other religions' tenets around the 10 Commandments poster. The displays include the 5 pillars of Islam, yada, 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 all that stuff. So far, no administrators have noticed the posters or told her to take them down. Well, I can almost bet that after this news article gets out, there's going to be someone on Facebook or someone on the internet that's going to bring this to the school district's attention, or they're going to say, that's so and so's classroom, and it's the cat's gonna be out of the bag, so to speak. So like I said, I have no problem with this because of my obvious beliefs, and I think that this teacher does make a valid point, however, about students having to have those conversations with students, because the thing about the 10 Commandments is, yeah, there are some parts of the 10 Commandments, like, the adultery thing, that some teachers, I don't know, it's like, it's kind of weird. Like, that's something that I said with this mandate when it initially came out, is that, teachers aren't trained to teach this, because not every teacher is a Christian, and not every teacher, like, what do you do if a student says, well, what does it mean, thou shalt have no other gods before me? Like, what God are we talking about? And a teacher who isn't a Christian what are they going to say? You know, they're not trained to teach these things or to like give any commentary on the Ten Commandments. So what can you say other than, I don't know, I just have to have this poster on the wall? I mean, for me, I could explain, my thoughts on it, but not every teacher is going to have the knowledge or know-how or the desire to even get into these conversations with students. So what is the policy for that? What are teachers supposed to say to this? Maybe this Ten Commandment poster, maybe it should come with like a manual of sorts, like some type of um, you know, script or something for teachers to say. Just give teachers a way to respond to students who have questions about these things. But I thought this article was fascinating because, again, I live in Texas and I had the Ten Commandments brought to me, and I do have them on my wall now. But as you can see, it is a big deal in Texas, and some teachers are not happy about it. They don't want the Ten Commandments, either they don't want it hung up on their wall, or they think it's unfair because it's not fair to other students who are of other religions. So that is that. But anyways, now my questions are for you. What do you think about teachers having to hang the Ten Commandments up on their wall? Are you in a state where teachers are required to do this? And what is your position? How have you responded to this? Let me know down in the comment section. Also, thank you for watching this video. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, all the good things. That helps me out here on the channel. Thank you for watching. That's all I have for you in this video. See you in the next one.